Well, hello and good morning to you, Year 9. It should be morning when you're watching this, but if it's afternoon, good afternoon to you as well. So this is a quick video then talking you through the lesson for today, because while it's not a live lesson, I hope you found it useful last time when we did limbo, just to have me sort of giving you ideas, prompts, nudges about what you're meant to do. So I'm going to talk through this. Obviously, this work is on Show My Homework, so you can access the slides yourself as well. And you will need to be ready to pause this video as well and complete. So we're going to go through it, and my expectation is that as you're listening to this and I say pause, you then pause it for 10 minutes, say, and have a go at like the activity you're about to see, and then we'll press play and go on and so forth. Right, so let's get cracking then. First things first then, I want to talk about connotations. Think about connotations. Those are what something makes you think of. So colours have connotations, for example. Red will have connotations maybe of violence and blood, although it also links to romance. If I take something like the sun can have very positive, warming connotations. Perhaps it makes you think of summer. It's the things you link with it and things you associate with it. You can do connotations for images. We can also do connotations for words. For this activity, as it says, task number 1, 10 minutes, I want you to complete the connotations. So as it says on the bold there, write or sketch the thing into your book and then particularly write the connotations next to it. So for example, if I get my click working, for example, first one then is a picture of a storm. So I've done that one for you, as you can see. So storm equals, and you can write this one into your book as well in a minute. Storm equals danger, unsettled, bad things coming, punishment, foreshadowing could be something else you could write there as well. And it is also pathetic fantasy, although those aren't technically connotations. So that's that one. Get ready to pause because I'd like you to do the connotations for these ones, please. So like tropical, not literally just a palm tree, that's sort of associated with tropical, the lion, snake, and gravestones, graveyards. Okay, so, and with the graveyards one, try and think more beyond just literally, the first word is probably going to be death, right? Try and move beyond that. So I'll go quiet for 5 seconds now. I'm going to let you pause the video and have a go at that one for 10 minutes, please. Over to you. And there we go. Let's move on then, presuming you've done that one. So here we go, moving on. Listen to the lyrics of the song now. You'll have to access this link by opening up the slides on Show My Homework, because obviously it won't work clicking on that on YouTube. But just want you to listen to it and then decide and write down answers to the questions there, the 3 bullet pointed questions, please. But what is it about in your words? What does the speaker feel? And also, what's their point of view about this topic, please? So again, I'll go quiet for 5 seconds, pause this video and have a go at that, please. Right, let's move on then to task number 3. We are about to explore an unseen poem very shortly as well. This is continuing that topic for this half term. So similar to what you did for task number 1, but now these images have a direct link to what you're going to look at today in the poem. So explore the connotations again, and once again I want you to write down. That one is a songbird, but also a caged bird as well. So it's a caged, it's easier, isn't it? Caged songbird is what you can write down for that one, and the connotations. And then also I'd like this one, which is a free bird, a bird in flight. So you're going to do the connotations for those two, please. And then look, and just write me a sentence. What is the contrast between your 2 words then? Just summarise in a sentence. What do you notice about the difference between your words for and your connotations for that first image and for the second image? Okay, so again, this is me going quiet for 5 seconds. Pause and have a go for 10 minutes, please. Right, presuming that you've had a go at that. Right, here we go then, we're moving on. Now I just wanted to show you this quickly because the idea of a caged songbird is something which is real. People like buying songbirds because of their beautiful song. And they capture them. This is happening in Asia. This isn't only Asia, but it is quite common to see this there. And you've got those markets full of caged birds, as you can see in those images. And it's really, I suppose it can seem quite cruel to us, and I suppose it is. There's a real sad irony that you've got a songbird chirping away with its beautiful song, and yet it's trapped in a cage. So it's singing beautifully, yet it's actually stuck within the confines of this cage and unable to sort of experience the freedom which maybe you could argue it's singing about if you look at it in a really sort of romantic way. Either way, I just want you to have these images in your head and just sort of see those before we move on to the poem. Now, this is the poem. What you need to do, if you haven't got it ready in a moment, pause this video and just go and grab it, because I'm going to read through it. It'll be really good as I'm reading it that you highlight it. We'll do that together, and then in a minute we'll pause for 10 minutes to let you have a go at annotating it. So if you haven't got it ready, grab it now and pause this. If not, I'm going to presume you've got your booklet ready. And I'm just going to read it to you. And if you have your highlighter ready, you can highlight anything that leaps out to you. This is a really famous poem, even though you may not have come across it before. The lady is Maya Angelou, who you see pictured on the right-hand side there. Again, very famous poet. We'll talk about her in a minute. But what leaps out at you about this? This is a poem which has got two levels. It's got a literal level where it's a bird in the poem, or there's the next level which is looking at what it is representing, so the connotations and metaphor. So let's go through it then together. Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied so that he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, and the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, and his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Now obviously I had to read that at a relatively fast pace. You may have missed some things. What you're going to want to do then is pause this video, go back over it, and just highlight anything which leaps out at you first. And once you've then done the highlighting, go back over it. And when I look at your work later, I'm looking for a picture of this page. I'm looking here really for 3 or 4 things ideally, where you maybe circle a word and talk about the connotations of that word, or circle a line or a word and talk about what that might be symbolizing or representing or suggesting. The other thing I'll just give you as a clue here, Maya Angelou, as a writer, her life is very much affected by the civil rights movement. And as a reminder, in case you've forgotten, that refers to the America particularly, and the, I don't use the word battle is what I'm trying to avoid here, but the conflict that came between the rights demanded by black people for equal rights versus those who didn't want to give those equal rights to black people, particularly those who are white descent. So that is sort of the inspiration and the context that sits above this poem. So that may make you or help you have a slightly different reading of it. Anyway, I'm going to go quiet for 5 seconds now and allow you just to have a go at pausing and annotating, and only if you're super stuck or if you've had a go for 5 minutes and you can't find anything, at that point you could always nip onto Google quickly and see whether there's any interpretations, or sort of you could type in caged bird annotations and you'll probably come up to a website. But don't do that until you've at least had a go yourself first, please. Okay, so I'm going to go quiet for 5 seconds, pause, highlight and annotate, please. Right, now what I'm going to do is just minimize my screen in a second and just go through it quickly with you and point out some things that you may have missed. So it just means that I need to quickly nip onto here. So here we go. So I'm going to go certainly with like the idea of free. We've got this idea of free, but then we've talked about, they've got the very much contrasting images going on here of the two birds, the free bird and the bird that is trapped in a cage, which is down here we see the caged bird, which is fearful as well. And you've got these sort of, the semantic fields very much came through here, or lexical fields or lexical sets. You get who it call different things. Let's call it a semantic field. The distant hill, the caged bird that sings of freedom, almost desiring and wishing this freedom which you can't have, unlike this bird here, the free bird, which you've got very like delicate language, like floating is a very soft word with very positive connotations, as we have like with the orange sun's rays, and even just this idea of sky, this open space where there is lots of freedom, very much in contrast to this, where you've got like the idea of wings being clipped. So again, sorry if I'm going too fast. Obviously you can pause this video or double back a little bit and just add your annotations here. But clipping a bird's wings is something you can do to prevent a bird flying away. There are certain certain feathers which are to do with flight. And if you clip, cut or remove those, they do grow back, but it prevents the birds from flying off. So that's what the idea is here. And this idea of singing, so yes, maybe literally singing, but also having a voice and giving your own opinion. Maybe that's even a link to protesting there as well. Sort of the idea of having a voice and sort of standing up for your own rights. So then again, you've got this free bird, and the idea that maybe this free bird is symbolizing the white man, and the idea that this free bird has all these things, and like it's got the fat worms, so like a bird literally eats worms, but also the fat worms maybe representing sort of the money and the opportunities which are open to somebody who is from a white background, who they almost naturally have these things because their skin color isn't a barrier to them, versus this caged bird, sort of this nightmare, and it's still, there's that repetition of its wings being clipped, its feet being tied, all this imagery that links to being trapped and oppressed, going back to a word that's come up in our recent lessons, oppressed as well. So those are the things I just wanted to draw your attention to there. If I just go back to the slides that we've got here. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is pause this video again and have a go at these questions, please. Some of your annotations that you've just done should hopefully help you with this. Have a good go at getting all the way through. If it takes you more than 10 minutes, I'd rather you spill over and get these questions done, because this is one of the key outcomes of today's lesson, please. So really interested in seeing your answers to these questions. Okay, so I'm going to go quiet for 5 seconds, pause the video and have a go. Okay. And we move on to the final task. Now, assuming you haven't run out of time for today's lesson, then this is what I'd like to do. Draw what you consider to be the most important image from the poem, please. I know what people say, oh, I can't draw, or this, that, and the other. Fine, sketch. Or, if you aren't drawing something, then what I'd expect to see is you writing out the line, please, and then you can sort of explode it, which is something we've done before. Pick out keywords and have connotations of that line, please, in your book or on your paper or typed up, or however you're doing this. So, once again, drawing and then explaining and writing down the line that you've chosen, or if you're not drawing, then you're going to write the line. You might even need to choose 2 lines to help you actually have something to write about it, and then give me some connotations of the words in that line. And when you're done with all that, Year 9, what you're going to do is take a picture of your work or submit it on Show My Homework, please, and then I'll get through and give a little bit of feedback. I don't know exactly at this current moment exactly when our next live lesson is, but I'll make contact with you and let you know about that. Okay? It'll probably, in fact, I'll put it on Show My Homework in a second when I upload this task for today, because I'm working now on Wednesday, so I'll know by then. So I'll let you know. Okay, thanks very much for watching this video, guys. Don't forget you've still got 10 minutes to do here, so make sure you have a go at task 6, because I do expect to see all tasks. Thanks very much, and goodbye.